Hi Year 8, we're going to do a DIRT task now on Level 7 Test 13 and Homework 10. The first topic I'm going to pick is topic 1 is negative substitution. So I've chosen question 19 from the 3 weekly, which says if y is equal to x squared minus x minus 3, find the value of y when x is negative 4. So you're substituting this negative 4 into the expression x squared minus x minus 3. Okay? So wherever I see the x, I'm going to swap it for a negative 4. I'm going to put it in a bracket to make sure I get the negatives correct. So instead of x, I'm writing negative 4 squared minus negative 4 in a bracket, take away 3. So there's lots of negatives going on. Let's deal with the first term. Negative 4 squared. Let's change that now to negative 4 times negative 4 is 16. It's positive 16 because negative times negative is a positive. Then we've got a big subtract sign, but we've got a subtract negative 4. And whenever we take away a negative number, we do what we call circling off, and a negative make a positive. When you're subtracting a negative number, it becomes a positive. So what we've got here, that becomes a plus, and that's now plus 4. So minus negative 4 makes plus 4, okay? Then we take away the 3 at the end. So now we've got this fiddly bit out of the way. It should be straightforward. 16 add 4 is 20. 20 take away 3 is 17. So that was the first one. Now the second question is really similar, question 20. This time, y is x cubed plus 2x, and we want to find the value of y when x is negative 1. So let's swap in or substitute negative 1 to this expression in the bracket. Looks like that. Add 2 bracket negative 1. Okay, so that's what we're doing. First of all, we're doing negative 1 cubed. Now, negative 1 cubed means this. We've got to multiply negative 1 3 times. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Minus times a minus is a plus. Then you've got to multiply again by negative 1. So 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1, because a positive number times a negative number is a negative number. I hope you followed that. So all that amounted to negative 1. So let's put them in. Then plus. Now here, there's an invisible times. Touch means times. Excuse me. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, because 2 ones are 2, and a positive 2 times a negative 1 makes a negative 2. Now we've got this circling off thing again. So is 2 negative or is it positive? We've got these signs next to each other, and we call this circling off. When you've got a positive and a negative together, they make a negative, okay? So let's make that a negative. 2 is still carried down, the minus 1 is still carried down. So the last line of working is just minus 1, take away 2. Okay, minus 1 minus 2 is minus 3 or negative 3. Using a number line, it goes down the number line and ends up as negative 3. So fiddly, but the rules are all always the same. Okay, now I'm going to go on to this question now. This was from the homework, but it's a really similar topic. It says complete the y coordinates for y equals x squared take away 3 minus 3. So we're substituting again. We're substituting all those x numbers. There's 7 numbers to substitute into this expression. Now, most people did absolutely fine with the positive ones, but the negative ones went wrong for some people. Let's quickly fill in the positive ones. So if we're substituting, let's start with this end. So 3 squared minus 3. 3 squared is 9, take away 3 is 6. 2 squared is 4. 4 take away 3 is 1. 1 squared is 1. 1 take away 3 is negative 2. 0 squared is 0. Take away 3 is minus 3. So those are fine. Let's substitute now carefully the negative ones. So if I write the expression here, I'm going to substitute now the negative 3. Okay, so swap the x for negative 3, and then we'll take away 3 after. Negative 3 squared is 9, positive 9, because a negative times negative is a positive. So 9, take away 3 is 6. So that one's 6. Let's do the same thing for negative 2. So same expression, x squared minus 3. Substitute the negative 2 in. So negative 2 squared, again, is positive 4. Take away 3 is 1. And the last one, squish them in the end. Same expression, x squared minus 3. Let's now substitute negative 1 in. Negative 1 squared, take away 3. Negative 1 squared is positive 1. 1 take away 3 is negative 2. So your final answers now are all across there. Now there's 2 more questions to complete. The next topic, so topic number 2, is depreciation. Okay, so topic 2 is depreciation, and this was the depreciation question off the homework. John makes a bad investment. It depreciates 5.2% every year. If he made an investment of £1,200, how much will he have after 8 years? So when we depreciate, we know D for depreciate means it's going to go down. Okay, so it's a bad thing, a bad investment. It depreciates 5.2%. Initially, this thing, whatever it was 100%. If it depreciates, we need to take away 5.2% from 100. On a calculator or not, whatever. 100 take away 5 is 95, take off 0.2 will give us 94.8%. This here is going to be our decimal multiplier. To change the percentage into a decimal multiplier, we divide it by 100. So 94.8 divided by 100 is 0.948. This now is going to be our decimal multiplier that we're going to use on the calculator. Okay, apologies for the weird looking 9. Okay, so we're going to use a calculator, and to depreciate something, this amount is £1,200. So 1,200 decimal multiplier, we always multiply. We're going to multiply this by 0.948. And the power we're going to use is always the number of years. So remember this little formula, it's the amount multiplied by the decimal multiplier to the power, and it's always the number of years. So you'd use a calculator for this. 1,200 times 0.948 to the power. Now power buttons are different on different calculators, but hopefully you can find yours. And my answer is this long number here. So pound sign 782.79. Make sure you're rounding correctly because it's an easy mark to lose. So the decider is a 4, so it's not going to affect that 9. Okay, so it would be 0.79. And that's the final answer for that question there. And the last one is topic number 3, is rearranging formula. My writing's getting a little bit excited. You can tell I'm excited about rearranging formula. Okay, here's the question that was on the homework. Make A the subject of the formula. V squared equals U squared plus 2AS. I'm going to write it out bigger so it's clearer. So we're going to make A the subject of the formula, and A is here. It's got some friends attached to him by some timeses. It's also got this term floating here. So, steps. First step, we need to isolate this A. Good word at the moment, isolation. we're going to isolate this a. So we're going to get rid of his little friend here, u squared. Now u squared is positive. Nothing to do with that one, that thing there. But u squared is positive. It hasn't got a negative in front of it, so it's positive. We do the opposite in algebra when we do a step. So we're going to take away u squared. That ends up on the left. V squared minus u squared equals. So we've taken away u squared from v squared. That's what that looks like. And then we take it away from this hand side. And these basically eliminate each other. So we are left with 2as. The plus is there. We don't need it. We know this is positive. Okay, so the plus has disappeared as well. Now the last step then is we need to isolate the a, so we need to get rid of the 2 and the s. Now if I put those invisible timeses in, 2 times a times s, we can do this in two steps or one step, and I'm going to do it in one. I need to get rid of 2s, and because it's times, the only step I need here is to divide by 2s. That will get a on its own. It will isolate a. So both sides of the equation to balance. I'm going to put this bit in first because I'm a bit excited that a now is on its own and we've nearly finished. Divide by 2s. We always write an algebra with a big line. So the top is v squared minus u squared, and the bottom is the 2s. Make sure your s's are quite curly so they look like s's. Or on the computer it'll be fine. A is now on its own, that is the answer. But obviously you know me, I like to switch it around and have the a on the left, but obviously that step isn't essential. Final answer.